This is the review for the Cendox V1. Originally released in 2009, it contains 151 pieces. The Kendox had a very minor role in the history of Spherus Magna. It was first designed as a war vehicle for the Agori of the Fire Tribe during the Core War. After the shattering, an Agori from the Fire Tribe named Crotesius stumbled upon one in the sands of Barra Magna. He later dug it up with the help of barracks, repaired it, and named it the Cendox V1, which translates to Serpent Strike in Agori. Crotesius himself is very bold and ambitious, wanting to become the leader of the Fire Tribe, but he's also impatient and doesn't get along too well with others. Some of the more famous appearances of the Cendox V1 and Crotesius are in the 4th Bionicle 2009 comic book, Before the Storm, where Crotesius drove his Cendox V1 in a practice match against the Caxium V3 and came out victorious. And in the Riddle of the Great Beings, where Crotesius was designated to help prepare Atro for the Grand Tournament. Tarduk later approached him about a quest to find the Red Star. Crotesius was skeptical at first, but was later convinced when Tarduk paid him to come. Once Tarduk enrolled Kerbold, the three set out traveling through the White Quartz Mountains, Forest of Blades, and the River Dormus. As per usual, we'll take a look at the figure first. This is Crotesius, and he follows the standard pre-established Avmatoran build. He has the raised shoulder torso, he has his pre-bent limbs, he has the standard 2009 fists, and he has a trans-blue Glutorian head. Where Crotesius mixes it up, he adds dark red Borak feet. That's the word I was trying to say. And then he switches around his torso and actually has it backwards to normal Avmatoran builds. He also features the same helmet that we see with the Caxium V3 set, this time in dark red, and it's been reversed. I really like the use of this helmet. It's reversible, so you get twice the utility. And lastly, you get a connector with the game dial mounted on his back, and it just plugs in like that. So overall, he's fairly simple, and he's good. Articulation-wise, Crotesius is articulated as well as your standard Avmatoran. He's got a ball joint at the head, but it can be kind of restricted just because of the way the shoulders are, the helmet, and this game dial on his back. Shoulders can go all the way around, no issues, up, down, it's a ball joint. Same thing at the wrists, ball joint, you can get your rotation, curl. At the legs, it can go up that far, back that far, you can do way more than the full splits, and then you get an ankle swivel, or it's a ball joint, so you get a swivel, forward, back, and you get a bit of tilt. So overall, for your standard Avmatoran, it's alright. It's nothing to complain about. Now, onto the Kendox. Right off the bat, it looks like a snowmobile crossed with a motorbike, and it is so cool. I have to give credit to the LEGO designers. The angles that are achieved with the lift arms just look so right. This is accompanied by the fact that you can actually see the engine. Get a load of that engine! Using the jetpack pieces from 08 for the intake, along with a tube wrapping around and the Kodan claw tucked in neatly inside, just completes the look. At the back, we have where the seat would be, a couple of boosters with fins to cover it up. Underneath we have the track, which crawls nicely on most rough surfaces, such as carpeting, fabrics, and literally anything outdoors. This whole section is nicely filled in with the lift arm and an Anika thigh cover. There's also some exposed studs, which will come into play later. At the front we have the handlebars, Thonax launcher, and the skis. All this is connected together using a very simple steering assembly, which is mounted at 45 degrees. Connected below are the skis, which you can adjust accordingly. This is all accomplished by a number of joints which allow the skis to turn and stay level. And it functions very well, practically replicating the way an actual snowmobile turns. Now the skis themselves are these Brutaka blades in black.
Because these pieces are so large, they work perfectly as skis, sliding over basically anything. They even managed to capture turning as a real snowmobile would. They even managed to perfectly capture driving across a solid flat surface. Overall, the Kendox itself is really good. It's a snowmobile. I really can't describe it any other way. It's a snowmobile.
Alright, so getting Crotesius into the Kendox is actually quite simple. So as earlier I mentioned that there are these studs here sticking out of the lift arm. Well, you're actually going to take Crotesius here, sit him on top of the Kendox, and then you're going to use the holes that are in the bow rock feet, and you're just going to plug them on. Just like so. And do that for both sides. And his feet will sit nice and forward, and they are secured in. And then you'll just bring his head up so he sits nicely, and then you're going to connect his fists to the handlebars. Focus. There we go. Just like so. Now you're going to have the fists angled down just because of how the arm is bent. This way nothing is hindered, restricted, or getting really in the way. You do that for both sides, and Crotesius is on the Kendox. It's as simple as that. There's no extra connections. It's just the hands and the feet.
Now, the main play feature with the Kendox revolves around the Thornax launcher, mounted at the front. It works by simply inserting the included Thornax and squeezing the sides to fire it off, and the dial mounted on the back of the figure. This counter acts as your hit points when you play the Bionicle action figure game. I'll leave a link in the description to a video explaining exactly how you play the game.
Alright, size-wise for the Kendox, the whole Kendox is about 33 centimeters long, or 13 inches. Height-wise, with Crotesius riding, he's about 11 centimeters tall, or 4¼ inches. So overall, it's a very small set, which makes it very nice, especially if you want to get it on a shelf. It's not going to cramp up a shelf. You got lots of room because it's also very skinny. So there's a lot of perks to this set, especially its size. Compared to a Mata build, here it is. Well, I'm going to have to move up. There we go. Here it is next to a Metro build. I'm going to have to move up again. And here it is next to an Anika build. Holy moly. So, overall, it's a very good size, and it's a very small vehicle set. So this is probably one to get if you are on a budget and you want a vehicle from 2009.
Alright, the issues with this set. The brittle joints on the figure, because they were released after 2008, which should be common knowledge among Bionicle fans. The steering is also hindered a little bit, just because of the fact that Crotesius' fists are now connected. This also affects how far to the side you can aim the Thornax. Now, what I think is the biggest issue with this set involves both the figure and the vehicle. They are specifically designed for each other. Because of how the set is designed, there's not a lot of freedom of play, where the majority of Bionicle vehicles have connection points or ports to secure almost all figures of the same size as the included figure. This set really doesn't allow for that. Crotesius' torso basically hugs the shaping of the Kendox, and his feet have specific plugins. So securing other figures really isn't in this set's agenda, unless you don't mind them loose and flailing around. So overall, the Cendox V1 is a very simple, solid, self-contained set that is not too overly large that it cramps a shelf. And it's a snowmobile. For sand. It's a sandmobile. Anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date with all my latest videos. And with that, I will see you all next time.